Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're going to follow the incredible, and I mean literally life-changing real-life story of a man named Aslam. We'll be walking through his journey of hitting absolute rock bottom, losing basically everything, to uncover a really powerful, highly structured blueprint for navigating our own darkest moments. We all face these unexpected storms, right? In our personal lives, our careers, our businesses. But how we respond to those storms, that totally dictates whether we sink or eventually sail into clearer waters. So, through Aslam's story, we are going to break down exactly how you can weather literally any crisis with clarity and purpose.
But first, we gotta start by acknowledging the incredibly heavy, isolating burden of failure that Aslam experienced when his hard work suddenly just fell apart. It started with a really stark reality. Through relentless grind and dedication, Aslam had actually built a thriving little business. But then, things took a sharp, cruel turn. The market shifted, circumstances totally spiraled out of his control, and boom, his business completely collapsed. Debt started piling up fast, and honestly, perhaps the most painful part, the friends he was so proud of, the people he swore would stand by him, they just completely distanced themselves. He was left entirely alone, broken, and convinced that every possible road forward was just permanently blocked. It's a terrifying place to be, and honestly, it's a feeling a lot of us know all too well, when life suddenly yanks the rug right out from under us.
So, feeling utterly hopeless, Aslam finds himself just sitting by the edge of a river, his mind totally paralyzed by anxiety. And not far away, he notices this really old, weathered boatman quietly and methodically repairing a battered wooden boat. Driven by sheer desperation and, feeling the crushing weight of his collapsing world, Aslam walks up to the old man and asks a question that really strikes at the very core of human suffering. He asks, when the storm hits and everything begins to violently fall apart, how do you keep hope? Think about that. It's a profound question, isn't it? How do you actually find an anchor when your entire world is just disintegrating?
Well, the old man just smiles warmly at Aslam and says, "Son, when a severe storm hits the sea, a wise sailor doesn't fight the crashing waves. Instead, with immense patience, he simply focuses on keeping the boat straight." Now here's a quick fun fact for you. In severe weather, seasoned sailors don't actually run from the waves. Nope, they steer their ships directly into them to avoid capsizing. Sounds counterintuitive, right? But facing it head-on is literally the only way to stay afloat. And that's exactly what the boatman meant. This is a massive paradigm shift for us, because when disaster strikes, our first instinct is usually to aggressively fight the uncontrollable forces, the economy, the unfairness, other people. But fighting the ocean, it's a total waste of precious energy. Your only job is to navigate it. You just keep your vessel steady.
You see, the boatman understood a really fundamental truth. No matter how violent, how terrifying, or how chaotic the hardship is, it is always, always temporary compared to the vastness of the sea. A storm, by its very definition, passes. Your life, your skills, your core identity, that is the vast sea. When you're right in the middle of a crisis, sure, it feels like the storm is your entire reality, like the darkness is going to last forever. But it won't. Recognizing this simple fact, that is the very first mental switch you absolutely have to flip if you want to survive a catastrophic failure.
To do that, we actually need to completely redefine our whole concept of patience. We so often mistake patience for passive waiting, just sitting around helplessly, doing nothing, crossing our fingers and hoping things magically get better. But true patience, it's active. It's about deliberate preparation and maintaining your inner peace. It means that when external circumstances are just wildly out of your hands, you aggressively take control of the one thing you actually can, your internal state. You keep your mind cool and collected, so you are fully prepared to make smart, rational decisions the exact moment the right opportunity arrives.
So, Aslam took the boatman's metaphor and actually translated it into a precise 3-step blueprint for surviving any disaster. Step 1 is exactly what we just covered, finding that inner peace and active patience so you don't end up capsizing your own boat in a total panic. Step 2 focuses on motion, taking the immediate next step. And step 3? That's all about mindset, truly believing in the test. Let's break down these next 2 steps together, because they are exactly how you transition from just barely surviving a storm to actually sailing right out of it.
Okay, so step 2 is all about the incredible power of small steps. Look, when your business fails or your life completely blows up, the road back to stability looks impossibly long. It's terrifying. And if you stare at the whole mountain, you'll freeze. You literally won't do anything. The secret here is to stop looking at the destination. Focus exclusively on the immediate next action. What is one tiny, productive thing you can do today? Seriously, even if your progress feels incredibly slow, like almost invisible, these tiny, hyper-focused efforts are exactly what will open up massive paths tomorrow. Do not lose courage over the speed of your progress. Just keep the boat moving forward, inch by inch.
And now for the third secret, the sheer power of belief. Aslam realized that this incredibly hard time wasn't a punishment, and it certainly wasn't the end of his story. It was a test. This reframing, it is absolutely critical. By viewing his failure as a strict teacher rather than, an executioner, Aslam was able to totally strip the emotion out of his defeat. He looked at his past mistakes objectively, extracted the harsh lessons, and used that newfound knowledge to start his business over entirely from scratch. Because he had been tested, and because he actually learned from it, he didn't just rebuild. He emerged significantly stronger and way smarter than he ever was before the storm hit.
If we track Aslam's actual recovery timeline, we see this isn't just nice-sounding theory. It yields real, tangible results. On day 1, total devastation. But by week 2, instead of wallowing in misery, he sought out and found real wisdom from that old boatman. Fast forward to month 6, and we start to see the amazing compounding effect of him patiently taking those small, deliberate steps every single day. And by year 1, he isn't just back where he started, he's emerging stronger, possessing a level of resilience he literally never would have developed without going through that crisis. Transforming failure into undeniable strength isn't magic, guys. It's a systematic process of endurance. Now, I want to connect Aslam's triumphs directly back to you and whatever challenges you're currently facing. I want you to think of your current rock bottom as the darkest, coldest night imaginable. Sure, it's terrifying, but a fundamental law of nature is that no matter how intensely black that night is, it possesses absolutely no power to stop the sun from eventually rising, right? Your current hardships are exactly the same. They might obscure the light for a little while, but they cannot prevent your eventual breakthrough. That is, provided you stay in the boat and keep it steady.
Which brings us to the absolute most vital rule of navigating life's storms. Do not let your lamp of hope blow out. You already possess the inner strength required to cross any obstacle in your path. I mean it. You have the skills, you have the capacity to learn, and you definitely have the ability to take that next small step. The only way the storm actually wins is if you surrender your hope. As long as you vigorously protect that inner light, that core belief that the morning will come, the paths forward are naturally going to reveal themselves to you, just one tiny step at a time.
So, the next time chaos strikes, I want you to ask yourself this one critical question. When everything falls apart and the waves are crashing down over you, are you going to panic, fight the uncontrollable, and let your lamp of hope blow out? Or will you remember the wisdom of the old boatman, find your inner peace, and patiently keep your boat straight until the morning comes? Remember, the storm is temporary. Your resilience, that can be permanent. The choice of how you navigate is entirely up to you.